If you're looking for a house that lives very modern, this may not be for you. But if you're looking for the California experience of a ranch home, this is the perfect house. So this is a 1954 Cliff May. So this is actually a tract home. And although it has crazy popularity now, and these have really they've really developed a cult following, these were just post-war affordable homes. We bought our home in 2019, and we probably got the last cheap Cliff May home in this tract, at least. And we bought our house for $685,000, and it was a disaster. It was the ugliest house in the neighborhood. It stayed on the market for such a long time because it didn't present well at all. Had all of the original windows and doors had been removed and replaced with more like modern versions of them, and it lost all of its charm. And it definitely looked like a neglected diamond in the rough. Luckily, we had some friends in the area who told us about, the post and beam construction and how it's actually pretty simple to revert them back to the way they were made. And we just dove in and did most of the work ourselves without any experience in, doing any sort of remodeling on a home. We didn't really have a preference. I think it all started when we started looking at homes, and everywhere we went didn't check the box. Everything didn't feel like home. Really, it was when I met a neighbor down the block and I was helping them out, and I went to their Cliff May home and I was like, damn, this is something that I want. This house didn't present well. It was on the market for a very long time. We had looked at it and didn't know if we were ready to take on such an enormous project. But after a lot of consideration and looking at much nicer homes in the area, we figured we'd take the plunge and give it a shot. And I think it worked out pretty good. Everyone here is very friendly. People love these homes. So we've made a lot of friends just through, discussing house modifications, upgrades, and so on. But it's also so private. Like, we rarely see our neighbors. It's incredible how we'll go weeks without seeing like our friends who live across the street or next door, because if you're home or you're outside, you're likely behind your fence and your gate. And for me personally, I love that. It's my favorite thing about the neighborhood. I think it relates a lot to cars because it's very aesthetic driven. When we first moved into this house, I actually joked about it feeling like a car, because you'll do things to the car or the house to make it look or feel a certain way, even if it makes it less practical. When we moved in, there was wall air conditioning units, and we removed them right away to not have air conditioning because it didn't look nice. And that's such a thing that I think only people who are into cars could understand, which is like, you change your car to make it worse for the road because it's better on a racetrack, or it looks cooler, or it's more unique. And I think these homes are very similar with that, is that everyone wants to personalize their house. They want their house to look a certain way, they want it to feel a certain way. And there's so many things that you can do to this to make it uniquely yours. And I feel like that's probably why it relates so much to cars. Automotive is very visual. You build a car to look a certain way because you just want it to feel like that. And this house, I think, is very, very similar. I often joke that it feels like we're at like a car meet for houses, because you'll go and walk your dog and wind up talking to your neighbor or someone around the block who you've never met before about their new fence or a new material they used in their house. And it's like, it's so ridiculous, but it's awesome because it's such a unique community to have. And like, I personally love it because I like to mess with everything, whether it's cars or houses or literally anything I have has to be, personalized and changed. As far as the mid-century modern house here, I don't feel like it is cold or uninviting. I do think that it has a lot of drawbacks that people don't understand, which is like, this house lacks a lot of creature comforts. I actually always joke that it's like living in a glorified gazebo, because it's drafty, it doesn't hold heat well, it doesn't hold air conditioning well. There's no insulation on the ceiling. It's just Celotex and then plywood and then shingles. So, the heat comes in very hot in the summer, but there's a lot of like little drawbacks to it. But the overall experience is so great that you get to sort of overlook all of those. Like, I feel like I'm the least exciting person to talk to about this stuff because I'm very new to this space. We don't have architectural pedigree in our backgrounds, and we're not people who grew up dreaming of this home. It's just something that we kind of stumbled into and wound up loving, and it became something that we were really passionate about. And it's been really fun to build this house from something that was really horrible into something that is great enough to have you guys here filming it. It's like, that to me is actually insane. And that's very much like the automotive community is, you build a car and you get it featured in a magazine or a video, and it's like, it's not what the original intention was, but it's such an honor to be that opportunity to showcase what you did for yourself.